Welcome to the world of Dieffematic. Let me introduce myself. I am Julia, the sales manager of Dieffematic. For those who do not know us yet, we are a leading company in the production and marketing of automated entrance solutions. With over 30 years of experience, we stand out quality and innovation of our products, all strictly made in Italy. We have suitable solutions for every type of need, and with these video tutorials, we will take you on a journey to discover all our products that have been designed and created to make your life easier and safer. Additionally, for our clients, we offer completely and absolutely free technical and commercial support. Are you truly ready for an adventure in the world of Dieffematic? Let's go!
Today we are introducing motors for awnings and roller shutters. As you can imagine, based on the size, we can choose the appropriate type of motor. In motors for awnings, an emergency release is almost always recommended. For roller shutters, it is at the discretion of the installer and the situation itself. We have motors of 10 Newton, 20 Newton, 30 Newton, and 50 Newton. Mutual 30 Newton, 50 Newton. 80 and 120 kilograms for the most particular and important needs. Obviously, once you exceed 50 Newton, it is recommended to use ogives and shafts of 78 kilograms. The weight therefore varies from 20 kilograms up to 230 kilograms, Remember that this type of motorization should be calculated at approximately double the actual weight of the roller shutter, as we do not have mechanical traction springs to assist us. Therefore, you should always make an estimate at about double. A practical example, if our roller shutter actually weighs 30 kilograms, we need to install motorization that can move at least 60 kilograms. Let's take a look at our composition of the curtain motor with a highly efficient aerodynamic nose cone and its advanced release mechanism system ensuring optimal performance, mechanical release, mounting bracket with locking pins, and additional components such as various release the eyelet and end stop of the regulator mechanism system, and mechanical instructions, of course. Let's look at the composition of a standard kit for awning control accessories such as anemometer and other related equipment, including various sensors, advanced controllers, and monitoring systems. Sun sensor, a highly efficient and user-friendly pre-programmed remote control that is designed to be used with a wall mount, which provides convenience, ease of use, and functionality. Rain sensor, connection instructions for the proper and correct usage of the device and ensure optimal performance and reliability. Control unit. Let's quickly and briefly see how to install the motor for a curtain. The motor will come with its 70 nose cone, which in this case will be fixed laterally using the cotter pin. In this way, this is the traction block, and this is the end stop nose cone, which will remain inside. As you can see, it needs to be embedded there in the motor where the actual end stop is. The motor should be fixed in this way. The slot and the tube must obviously align. As you can see, the nose cone might be offset to avoid touching the motor body. It should be inserted inside. Once we have inserted the motor, we need to be careful with the installation of this limit switch, because what we saw before as the nose cone will be the traction that will physically rotate the shaft. This part of the limit switch, as we can understand, is instead related to the traction itself and is what will make the external limit switch system work. One fundamental thing we need to understand when we are assembling is that this rotation corresponds to the direction of the motor. What does this mean? Here we have 2 screws for adjustment with the 2 arrows. The arrow does not indicate the raising and lowering of the awning, but indicates the direction of rotation. So the arrow pointing towards me means it will adjust the torsion in this direction. So if we act on this screw by turning it towards the plus, we will give more stroke in this direction towards the minus, less stroke in this direction. This is the mounting system. Obviously, the arrow pointing to the other side indicates the other rotation, and more stroke in that direction, less stroke in That part, so remember that the arrows and so indicate the rotation, not the raising and lowering. These things do not necessarily coincide. Then we have the so emergency release. As you can imagine, the emergency release involves inserting the eyelet into the designated hole, securing it with a counter screw, and in the event of a power outage. The awning can be operated manually. In the classic mounting bracket, there is the hub of the motor that needs to be slotted in this way and fixed on the side. Curtain organelle. Let's take a look at the adjustment of the end stop in detail. As we have clearly understood, the system of end stop is related to the rotation of this OG because it is here inside that there is the movement of the end stop itself. At the moment we go to observe these two arrows, we must immediately understand that the arrows do not indicate the rise and fall of the curtain, show the direction of rotation. So the arrow clearly indicating this specific direction is the one that will regulate this type of movement. If we turn this screw a little bit more towards the plus, we will give more travel in this direction. If we turn towards the minus, we will give less travel in this direction, so it will stop earlier. The same applies to the other regulator. The arrow that indicates, in this case, towards the tabletop means that the rotation, the one that will definitely adjust that screw is indeed this one, which might be easily raised or lowered, do not always coincide. So more and more travel in this direction, less travel in this direction, it will stop earlier. This is our control unit, operates two awning motors with their sun sensors, wind, rain. Let's go through the connections point by point. Let's remember that it manages two single-phase 230 volts motors, volts with a capacitor already on board the motor. Connection 220 to the first two terminals. Here we will bring the line voltage, then we have the connection of motor 1 and the connection of the motor 2. Obviously we will place the common in the center phase of opening closing phase motor 1, common to the center of motor 2, phase of opening closing phase motor 2. The 220 volts ends at these terminals, of which we actually have the wired commands indeed. So on this terminal we have motor 1 up, motor 1 down, and also common motor 2 up, motor 2 down. These are normally extremely clean contacts, so they will be very carefully controlled. With the normally open NA contact, it will not, in any situation, never apply voltage carefully to these terminals. Then we go to see the connection for the next step in the process. Wind, sun, and rain sensor. Some sensors need a power supply, so we will find the plus 12 volts, approximately the connection for the rain sensor, such as the common wind sensor connection, sun sensor. We obviously have the possibility through the two trimmers to go set recognition threshold for the wind and for the sun. Now the 4 dip switches will be used for additional purposes and functionalities. Disable the sun sensor if we set it to on. Decide what we definitely want in case it activates. The rain sensor, with dip 2 off the awning, will close in case of rain. With dip 2 on in case of rain, the awning will open. With dip switch number 3, we can instead manage and decide if after it has intervened the wind sensor, therefore the anemometer, after the 7 minutes that the awning will respect its block, if we want it to reopen or if remain closed. Dip switch 4 is used to manage the tests on the two motors with long times or normal times. The remote control that comes with, let's remember that our control unit is already pre-programmed. Channel 1 for the command of motor 1, channel 2 for the command of motor 2,